So, y'all, I figured I would make this video about Makiyah Bryant. People have been asking me for my opinion about the situation. As you can see, I'm driving here on my way to Asheboro, North Carolina to pick this load up and head down to the A today is what I'm doing. And I hate going anywhere near Atlanta. The traffic down there is unreal. 285 is trash. 85 is also trash. And apparently they're having daily competitions to see who can get a vehicular homicide charge in the state. It's a competition. I don't know whether it's a silent competition or not. The motherfucker will be down there playing goddamn bumper cars, okay? This is what's going on. This is what I'm heading into. And before I get into the situation, to, I guess, frame the situation, let me tell y'all a story about a video I shared on my page. Now, what's happening with Makiyah Bryant's situation? Or it could be Makiyah. And if I'm saying it wrong, y'all, I apologize. I'm going to stick with Makiyah. Okay? What's happening in this situation is that black people are deciding to do what we do way too often, in my opinion, is that we're going to find someone else at fault other than the cops. 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up. That's what we're going to do. If black people aren't completely compliant, then what black people, other black people, now y'all know we call them coons around here, we can also call them anti-black. And to my opinion, that anybody that has the opinion that they're going to look for ways that black people aren't complying and to justify the murder of black people, then those are going to be anti-black, black people, coons, whatever, right? So I shared a video on my Instagram page of a white man. All right, some cops in a situation where the white man, body cam footage, white man goes, stabs cop in the motherfucking neck. White cop says, boy, stab me in the neck, pursuing him on foot. Cop has a gun out initially, trades it up for a taser, tases the man who stabbed him in the neck. Now, in this situation, the cop was stabbed. Arrest was made. White man wasn't killed. This is not the only time you can see this this very scenario where you'll have white people who brandish weapons. I even shared one on my live the last time I went live. A white man was in a full-blown pickup truck, had assaulted a cop with a hammer, got in his truck, was dragging the cop down the street out of his window. Arrest made, nobody murdered. Now, this very point is the point that we should be driving home. The fact that the cops handle black people completely different. That's the point. It is not a point as to whether the foster mom was wrong, whether the foster dad was wrong, the 4 black women that came and jumped her. We can argue that these people are all wrong, but that's not the point. The cops showed up. Makiyah was headed towards a woman to stab her with this knife. Now, I'm probably gonna run, okay? To me, if motherfucker coming at me with a knife, I don't feel as though I have the power to disarm them. I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna stand there and wait for them to get to me with the knife. I'm gonna take off, okay? This is real life shit. If I ain't got the skills, I'm running. So, but what happens is, cop shows up, Makiyah's headed to another black woman to stab her, cop shoots her 4 times. Black people are saying it's justified because one of the problems that black people have is staying focused on the issue. The issue is that cops use lethal force against black people and have historically. This isn't a new thing. This is a common practice. So the focus that we're having, the people that ride with me, the people who understand, who are actually black first, second, and third, we understand that the issue is the hypocritical nature in which we are handled by the cops. That's the issue. How she was raised, what's going on in the house, those can be separate issues, but the issue, when it comes to a cop murdering somebody black, is that the cop typically does not have to use lethal force to de-escalate the situation. That's the point. That's the only point. You can have the conversation about how wrong these women are, about how wrong the parents are, even how wrong Makiyah was. But that will not overshadow the fact that these cops in this America, 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up, incorporated, use lethal force against us first. It doesn't matter whether we're running away, shoot you in the back. Doesn't matter whether you have a knife or a gun, they're gonna shoot you. It doesn't matter if you even doing what they tell you to do, like they did with Philando Castile. It doesn't matter, and that's the motherfucking point. And you coons out here, you self-hating, anti-black ass coons out here, seem to let that point elude you every time something happens. White America's going to do that job for you. Well, if they just would have complied, said the same thing about Brother Wright. If they just would have complied when she's mistaking a taser for a gun, you never see it in reverse. You never hear a cop say, well, I meant to murder the shit out of him, but all I did was taser. You never see that. That never happens. Why is that? Why isn't that accident ever made? Well, I meant to kill the fuck out of him, but I ended up just shocking him, just electrocuting him. That's all that happened. This is a problem. It's been a problem. Black people, you continue to try to find fault in yourself, and I know it's because your mind is so colonized and your self-esteem is so low that you're going to always try to find a way out to circumvent it being the cops' fault, to circumvent the fact that these motherfuckers are racist, and when it comes to you, they're going to shoot you first. So your thing is, well, just comply. Even though nobody else in this nation has to abide by those rules, you will impose them rules on yourself. He could have tased her. He could have shot her in the leg. He could have not murdered her. But y'all black folk talking about, well, if it was my daughter that she was trying to stab with a knife, hopefully you taught your daughter to fucking move. Hopefully. It's not like she had skills at throwing knives. That means she had to be at arm's length of anybody to be stabbed. And had that been my daughter, I would have wanted the cop to shoot her too. These are the points that y'all making for them. Now, the shoot, and when it comes to the legalities of this thing, will be a justifiable shoot. They're going to deem it justifiable because she had a lethal weapon. She was about to impose what would be deemed as lethal force on what would be deemed an innocent in this situation. When we know they weren't really innocent, but that's not the point. When we're talking about the legalities of this will be a justifiable shoot. Sure will. It will be justified. It will be cleared. And black people, you'll be happy about that. So now, and again, I want to say, well, let me say this first. So now I want y'all, black people, to think about the precedent that's being set. What you're saying that you want. For somebody to show up and use lethal force against you, and you will justify it if you're not compliant. And for black people, compliance is letting the motherfucker choke you out without even fighting back. That's non-compliance. Look at what's happening. Black people, stop calling the cops. Can we talk about that for a half? I'm gonna just talk about this for a second. Stop calling the cops. Stop. They're not here to protect you. They're not here to, your best interest. They don't have your best interest at heart. Stop calling these motherfuckers. If all they're gonna do is show up and kill somebody, you can do that yourself. You don't need somebody to come kill somebody for you. Now, once you done pop the motherfucker and they lay dead in the floor, then you can call the cops. That's the only, to me, that should be the sequence of events. I'll call you and let you know somebody made them broke in my house. I'm about to kill these motherfuckers. Y'all need to get down here. By the time y'all get here, there's gonna be a goddamn body out this bitch. It's gonna be a body. I don't need the cops to kill nobody for me. I don't need the cops to protect me. I will see me, really, in my opinion, like I said, if there's a dead body there, then maybe. Cool. I walk into the house and it's a whole dead body there. I don't know what the fuck happened. And it's still in that situation. Before I call the cops, I'm gonna try to figure out exactly what the fuck happened, so that way I can't be implicated in the murder of whoever the fuck laying here. Or maybe if you get into an accident, you call the cops to do the, the report or whatever like that. But just calling the cops, black folk, it's not for us. It's just not. It's not for us. And we should feel that type of skepticism when it comes to the cops, because we call them and they show up killing us. We have to understand as black people, man. I understand that black people are going to have differences of opinions. But our problem is we cannot even unify on one thing that we know is wrong. Cops use excessive force when it comes to us. Period. There shouldn't be anybody who comes along, and particularly a black person who comes along and be like, nah. Because these are facts. These are facts. Makiyah Bryant should not be dead. She should not have been shot 4 times. I don't give a fuck about whatever backstory you can impose here, or whether you even call the story facts, or whatever the shit was over, whatever was going on. It doesn't matter. She shouldn't have been murdered. She shouldn't have been shot. She shouldn't have been killed. Simple. Easy. And the more you come along and justify you being murdered for failure to comply, the more righteous they're going to feel in killing you for non-compliance. They're going to feel righteous in that. We just had a brother here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. He was shot while fleeing. Because, I mean, again, y'all can act like it's because she had a knife, but if the same thing happens when we're running away, then you don't get to use the knife argument. I can't see it. The same things is happening. And those need to be taken into account. And everybody can have their opinions, but black folks, stop cooning so publicly. Stop being anti-black so publicly. The cops are using excessive force against you. And this is even outside of the false arrest, false imprisonment. This is even outside of that. They're using excessive force against you. It don't matter how you was raised, what type of degree you might have, what you do for a living. It doesn't matter whether you violent, non-violent, compliant, non-compliant. It doesn't matter. And that's the issue. The rest of this shit y'all talking about is coon babble. That's what it is. It's coon babble. And I promise you, you could have kept your fucking mouth shut and white society would have did all that work for you. Sadly enough, the video I shared where the motherfucker will stab that cop in the neck and the cop chose to tase the white man. It was a white woman that was on the video that presented the video. So even the caves, some of these caves consider hypocrisy, where black folks sitting around here justifying us being murdered. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And anybody I see is conducting in that behavior and don't see anything wrong with that behavior, want to put that behavior as to telling a hard truth, being super woke. I know black folk don't want to hear this, but you'll have them type motherfuckers. And I get that. Telling hard truths. But the hard truth in this situation is that the cops, who you pay their salary, are running around killing you. They seek to use lethal force first. That's the hard truth. Period. And that's the point we need to drive home. Stay unified on that point. Period. But that's all the fuck I wanted to say, y'all. Y'all comment and let me know what y'all thinking about this. I know the cops going to get off, so that's already not even a question in my mind. I know the cops going to get off based on the situation. But the question I have for black people, the challenge I have for black people, is to stay focused. I know y'all love challenges. Now, this one doesn't involve a dance, so, you know, it's not going to be as cool to you. But I challenge black people to stay focused on what the actual issue is. The actual issue is that when we are faced with the cops, we end up being brutalized or murdered at a far higher rate than other motherfuckers who are doing way wilder shit. The motherfucker stabbed a cop in the neck. He got tased for that. That hypocrisy, that's the point. But y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, of course. Shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. And we understand. We're going to stay focused over here. There's just not enough of us that's willing to stay focused. Too many coons running around here giving their fucking opinions. Justifying a 16-year-old girl being jumped by 4 grown women because she had a knife, she deserved to die. That's bullshit.